So, Dr. Neeti, what should every woman at any age do to be breast aware?
Shruti, the most important concept is invisible does not mean it does not exist. So be breast aware. And how we can be breast aware? At every age, there are specific recommendations. In 20s, do a self-breast examination. That self-breast examination could be once a month. When you check your breast when it's not painful, generally not around periods time. In your 30s, go to a clinician to do a clinical examination. Now that clinical examination could be 1 in 6 months, where your oncologist may actually ask you sometimes for an ultrasound if they find anything suspicious. And in 40s onwards, once a year digital mammogram or regular mammogram based on comparison with the previous mammogram. Sometimes again doctor may ask you for an ultrasound. If there's a family history, they may ask you for an MRI breast. And importantly, if there's anything you notice, if there is an abnormal lump in the breast, unusual pain, nipple discharge, nipple distortion, please visit a doctor.
So the next question would be, if someone in my family has a breast cancer, then what are the things I should be aware of?
This is a very relevant question, Shruti. Importantly, it's not just breast cancer, but what cancer a person had in the family, at what age, and what was your relation with the patient, with the person who had cancer. So first degree relatives are the close relatives, which means your brothers, sisters, your parents or your kids. If they had cancer, then what was the subtype of cancer and at what age they had may have a very relevance to you, and you may actually have to go to a geneticist or an oncologist to discuss your history to find out whether you need a genetic testing. And if there are documents of the person available, it's always useful to carry the document so that the doctor can screen individual document properly.
And in case there is a family history in my family, how early should I be screening, or how early should I start my testing in any cancer?
Yeah. So it's not age. First is go and get your history reviewed. Everybody should go and get the history reviewed. And if it is a relevant history, then there'll be tests offered at a specific age. Generally, an adult is what we test. So more than 18 is what is relevant when you're doing any genetic testing. And for every age, we see the youngest member in the family who had cancer. And generally, few years earlier to the youngest member in the family is tested. 5 to 10 years younger, earlier to the youngest member in the family is tested. But again, please, if you have any family history which is concerning, please go and visit an oncologist, get your family history screened. On top of it, you may have some personal risk factors also. You may be a smoker or possibly environmental exposure on top of a family history. That makes a specific risk stratification which you need to individualize.
The last question would be, in this current scenario, it would be very much applicable. How do you think AI will be integrated into diagnosing and treatment of cancer?
AI has, significant relevance in oncology. See, first important thing is we have loads and loads and tons of data. How do you integrate it for clinical practice? So because of the newer technology, there are several biomarkers, there are lots of smaller publications, and we need to make it relevant by integrating it by machine learning and making it useful to the patient. This is one aspect. This may have implications not just in treatment but in diagnostics as well. Now, with increasing use of AI technology, mass screening is made easy. So there could be screening which is done at a mass level in which mammography or certain other thermal techniques are used, where data is incorporated of several thousand of patients, and radiology is becoming easy because of machine learning tools which simplifies it, red flags it, so that a radiologist can actually report after an AI reporting system. So this is one use. Second use is there are diagnostic tools which are online tools, which are AI-based tools, which actually risk stratify you. We had this discussion in the previous question. So whether they are risk stratification tools which tells you what is your risk of developing cancer. And last but not the least is treatment implications, where we have raw data, how we can actually make it useful to bedside or to use it in clinical practice.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.